Hello, I am Dan Schurslick. I'm the Director of Engineering Design for the Kansas Department of Transportation. I'm here today to visit with you very briefly about practical improvements. Basically, define what practical improvements are, why we're doing them, and show a few examples of where we actually constructed projects using practical improvements. First of all, what is a practical improvement? A practical improvement is a solution that is tailor-made for that project with the ultimate goal of saving time, saving money, and matching the system. Why are we doing practical improvements? We're doing practical improvements, again, to operate very frugally and look at the system that we built at KDOT over the last 20 years when we've had back-to-back programs of 2 highway bills, T-Works being the 3rd highway bill, to emphasize a system that we've already built, pick projects that fit the system, and design them accordingly. And with practical improvements, it's all about really finding the right balance. It's about balancing decisions that affect the cost of the project, the scope. The scope, another way to define scope is what is the project for, and of course, to always emphasize safety. We always make some improvement. It depends on where we are and what is really needed. Sometimes those improvements can be very small, sometimes they can be even larger, but we're always going to make some improvement when we're at that project. At KDOT, we have been doing practical improvements really for quite some time, but in the last 3 years we've taken a step back to sit down and basically count the projects of which ones we've done, where we've done them, and what type of cost savings we've implemented with those projects. To date, since 2009, we have designed 46 projects utilizing the practical improvement concept to a total savings of $59 million. With practical improvements, I can show you now up on the slide is there's a picture of one project that we have recently got done, and that is K23 in Gove County. What you're seeing is a roadway. It's got an existing width of 24 feet. There are no shoulders on this roadway, as you can see. You can also see that it's fairly straight and it's on a somewhat flat alignment. So once this project was selected for improvement, the question was, should we reconstruct this project or should we rehabilitate the pavement, and what type of practical improvements should be selected for this? What was ultimately selected was to remove all the pavement that was there. By doing that, in effect, we've lowered the grade of that road somewhat and increased the shoulder width by 2 feet. That's without not reconstructing the ditches. We didn't have to put in any new fences. As you again, looking at the completed project, you'll see that the alignment stayed the same, and the vertical and horizontal alignment was plenty straight enough. Also, what needs to be known that you don't see in the picture is how long it took to do this project. When we started with this project, lots of times, as you will know as a traveling public, you have traffic going through construction. Well, that takes time. We sat down and visited with our local officials and said, hey, let's consider closing this road, and if we close this road, we think we can get this project done in probably half the time of a normal project of this size. This project traditionally would have taken basically the whole construction season, from about March to November. We elected, by talking to local officials and providing alternate routes, was to close this road, and now that this project was done, it was closed for a total of 20 weeks instead of about 40 weeks of which it would have taken to finish this project. The numbers are in, the project's done, traffic is traveling on this roadway, and we have saved $11 million on this project, which is essentially half of the total project cost. And as far as what type of savings we have on these, for example, we could have shorter drainage structures, we could alter the shoulder type, we could alter the width where it's still plenty safe, but it still meets the needs of that project. We can also, and on this project we didn't have to do this, but on some projects we group projects together to save time. We evaluate design speeds, whether we think those are appropriate, and we look at the existing system to see if it really matches the system. So with that, I've given you a brief summary of what is a practical improvement, why do we do them, what kind of cost savings do we have, and some pictures of one that was just completed here this summer. Well, what's to come? Well, we're continuing to look at more and more ways to innovate, innovate. And with that, we have our engineers continually to look at some of our design standards. We're revising some more design standards to meet practical improvements. And we'll also be going out, our design staff, of course, is practicing this, but it's time, as you start seeing these projects hitting the road, to communicate to the external stakeholders what is practical improvement. So we'll be hosting some workshops here in the near future to go through projects in your area to show some pictures of here's a practical improvement that we have done in that area. So with that, that is a very brief summary of practical improvements. I thank you for your time.